started.
Okay, so this is my phone, and this is the object that I'm going to be using for my personal object today, for my personal object speech, because I feel like it plays a huge role in my life. So, first off, I want to start by saying that us Americans spend a lot of our times on our phones. The population of phone use is actually expected to increase. Right now, it's at 97% of us that actually do use our phones every day. So I feel like that percentage is actually high. If you were to sit there and actually think about the phone use percentage of what it was back then for our ancestors. A lot of my family uses their phones all day, whether that's being on our phones, our iPads, electronics. So I feel like my family does have a big percentage of phone use as well. Next, I want to start off by saying that us Americans, due to my research, have or own iPhones more than we do Androids. 51% of us in society own iPhones, and 41% of us actually own Androids. Research actually shows that we spend 4 or more hours on our phones each day. I feel like my percentage is actually way more than 4 hours because I actually do online schooling, whether that's Zoom to read on my Kindle, doing research, submitting assignments, or even just being online for one of my classes that I actually have to log on to each day. Additionally, I wanted to add that this population is actually advancing with technology. Why do I say that? Back in the day, none of our ancestors nor parents knew how to work phones or technology good. I remember being a little kid and always being asked for help because they didn't know how to look for a family member's number or look something up. You know, back in the day, we all had what is not even known anymore, but we all had phone books. Nowadays, all of our family has phones that are literally glued to our hands all day. Whether that's electronics, phones, laptops, all of it. When I go to PC, all I see is everybody on their phones walking around, whether that's being on the phone, looking at videos. Whereas, back in the day, we didn't have any other option than to communicate with each other. Now, you never see that when you step foot on campus. I use my phone for schooling, for researching, for talking to family, whether that's FaceTime on the phone. And a lot of people ask me, why do you like to do your schooling online? It seems so much harder. Isn't it hard to log in each day? And the truth is that for me, it's not. I like being ahead of the class because actually there's a fun fact about me is that I graduated 1 year early in high school because I fought to be in independent studies because I wanted to stay ahead of everybody else. So me being ahead got me the opportunity to graduate a year early because I was so far ahead of everybody else and the credits that I needed. In conclusion, I wanted to say that phone use is extremely important to all members of society, whether you're a student, whether you're a parent, whether you're, a grandparent, a parent. And I feel like the phone use percentage is only gonna increase. It's not gonna decrease. Why? Because technology is evolving and society is evolving. I feel like one day we're gonna go to the grocery store and there's gonna be nothing but robots everywhere. I feel like even schools evolved. Why do I say that? During COVID, what did everybody have to do? We had to all do distant learning. I remember I have, a son that was in school during distant learning, and the schools gave out Chromebooks. They gave out work that we had to do each week, and I had to sit there with my kid at work because I had to take him to work with me at that time, and I had to get him logged on to do his schooling. I feel like it was kind of chaotic. I had to take him to school with me, but then again, I was actually very thankful that regardless of everything ugly that was going on in the world, my kid was still able to get the education that he needed to stay at his grade level, you know, I had to also log on to my schooling from home, and I feel like it was so chaotic. I was just so overwhelmed with doing my son's schooling with him and doing my schooling, but at the same time, we were all able to get the education that we needed and being able to do our schooling at our own pace. You know, we would log in for a certain amount of time, but we also had to submit work that needed to be completed and turned in by a certain time. So I feel like schools are going to evolve with technology as well. I feel like one day we're not even going to be required to go and sit in school for a certain amount of hours throughout the day being kids, and some of that percentage is going to have to be online. You have to go online and do a certain amount of hours here on this program and a certain amount of hours in this program. So I feel like technology is important to all members of society, all members, and technology is extremely important. So is our phone. Phone use is extremely important. Rather you see it as something really bad or something really good. We can do a lot of good from our phone. We can get a lot of stuff done through our phones. So if you actually think about it, have you ever sat and think about how much time we spend on our phones, laptops, iPads? How many hours do you spend on your phone each day? Sit there and think about it. I don't feel like we don't think about it. Is your percentage pretty high? Is it pretty low? So to wrap this speech up, I just want to say phone use is extremely important, whether we think about it or not. And I feel like it ties a lot to my everyday life because I'm always a person that's on the go, you know, and even when I'm running out of the house, sometimes I'm like, where's my phone? I need my phone. I can't go to the store without my phone, because phone use is extremely important, whether it's to make emergency calls, to stay in touch with family, to get in touch with family, social media, turning in my assignments like I'm doing now. I needed to log in, you know, use a device to record this, whether that's an iPad, whether that's a phone, whether an iPod, anything. We need this technology to even submit this assignment. So technology is extremely important, and I want you to remember that technology is only going to evolve, and our generation is evolving with technology. So just think about it. How many hours of the day do you spend using technology today? Thank you, guys.